Hi, I'm Kyle, an Iron Knight. Welcome to today's episode of Talk Nerdy TV. I brought back my good friend and guest.
Hi, I'm Double O Joe. I'd say it's a pleasure to be here, but I have nothing better to do.
I'm just going to look down upon you.
Let's go off.
Okay, today we're going to talk about a 20-year-old game, one of my favorite games, you can judge by the background right here.
20-year-old. Oh, bloody hell, that makes me feel.
Okay, 19, how's that? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. One of the, if not the best Star Wars game ever made. I'll die on that hill. It has a story that rivals that of the original trilogy, in my opinion.
Well, the first Kotor it had that standard good versus evil hero's journey storyline to it.
But what we're going to talk about is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the movie trilogy. And yes, there is a trilogy. You'll find links to the first episode down below, or all three if I decide to put all three. But it's a machinima. And it was made by a very talented team over at Smash City Studio, link down below. With the team lead Kevin. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm not even going to try. But he spent several years converting this game into three full-length films, and they don't look like Let's Plays. They're actual machinimas. Just think Red versus Blue, but with this game.
I Carl, you're the one who actually put me on to these movies, and again, just like you said, I thought they were just going to be like some sort of walkthroughs, but my God, bloody hell, the amount of effort that had to go into making these things.
They, they brought in new
It took
characters.
me,
They
it took me
removed. Go ahead.
surprise. It took me completely by surprise because like I said, it did start off like it was going to be a walkthrough, but suddenly it's different alternate camera angles.
Wait, this is a
The
movie.
music, yeah, it felt more. It was a lot more cinematic. It was a lot more like a film.
And because when this game came out, the protagonist, the character you play as, doesn't have a voice, but the director took it upon himself to give this character a voice. Of course, but he doesn't. They didn't animate him moving his mouth, which at first bugged me, but became a running joke actually, that Logan Starr is a telepath. It's just a joke. It's not. It's not canon. That's not the canon of the story. It's just a funny little. It's what it became.
And speaking of the guy who voices, whatever, am I crazy into thinking he doesn't sound like Hayden Christensen a little bit?
No, no, you're not alone there. Actually, on his, if you
I
actually
swear,
go,
I swear, in some moments, some bits of dialogue I'm listening to, I'm like, is that the guy who played Darth Vader?
no, his voice is perfect for both Logan and Revan because in scenes um we're not going to talk about the individual films here. We're going to be talking about little points in all three films. We might come back later and talk about each one individually, but right now, just there are scenes that he improved, like in episode one when they're on Kashyyyk, trying to get the Star Forge. Originally, it was just the hologram of the Rakatan asking you questions, but no, he completely redid it and put a hologram of Revan, and they had this full-on conversation, and him just belittling Logan.
It's just it was those little changes, those creative inputs that really sort of made these films just really made he really made it his own. One of my favorite ones was the it was in the first movie. It was in Taris, the swoop
Oh yeah,
races. Blew me by surprise that I was like, hang on, those aren't swoop races. Those are pod races.
that's the N64 pod race game. He is,
I
and
thought it was. I'm like, am I watching a different video? But no, he actually he seamlessly um
blended.
spoke that in very well. I mean, it made it a lot more exciting, a little more dynamic, and also like the dialogue between the other characters, like the commentators and all that. absolutely funny.
Like, I'd be happier, but I just lost all my money. But also little details that they put in. Instead of just the whole thing being on the pod race, it cut away to the team or other spectators on little screens showing the pod race. Like he actually took the time to edit in that all the little screens you see in the bars and stuff of the pod race. So actually people were watching. The amount
I just,
again, the amount of work that went into this.
it's,
Kevin, you're my hero.
you did the Kotor community proud, mate. Trust me, and I'll buy you a drink. But again, it's like what kind of throws me about them a little bit is it is a little jarring at times, but I am giving him credit. I'm giving him credit. He
It,
put so much work into it.
it's restricted by the 20-year-old game engine.
Exactly. I just mean like there were times when yeah, Revan Logan Starr, he's more or with a few exceptions, he's more or less the only really voiced new voiced character in the movie. Almost everyone else, it's just cut up dialogue
Mm.
from the game, which
Yeah,
I understand that, but it's like this, it does make it a little bit
I can't
jarring.
I can't wait for you to get to episode three. He's only seen two of the movies, but in episode three,
They're 2.5 hours long each.
oh yeah, no, I completely get it. But what's so cool about episode three is he brought in new characters. You remember the Jedi Caden in the first one, where he was leading them to the Jedi Council.
Yes, yes, I remember.
Well, anyways, that head is one of the playable characters. In fact, that's the one I always used. But
Really?
in episode three, he brings in over 2 dozen new characters. There's Bobek. One,
Don't spoil it for me.
but okay, anyways, but one thing he does do to improve the third film, and yes, this is somewhat of a spoiler, but not really. He takes Luthera, the purple Twi'lek, completely scraps her dialogue, and has someone else come in and redo all her lines, so Logan and her are actually having real conversations.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I can't wait to see that then.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like again, most of the characters, not most of the characters, like some of the characters are still cut up, like the leader of the Sith Academy. But no, the third film probably has the most new dialogue.
Well, I can't wait to see that then.
It's amazing. Each film is just it has its moments. Again, the acting from Kevin is good. Again, it is a little jarring though when you have to look at this 20-year-old game with some of the scenes because in episode two they modded it so it actually shows Bastila and Logan and all them actually Bastila and Logan kissing. And the 20-year-old graphics, I know, like this is supposed to be an emotional moment, but it makes me laugh.
It's the same when he meets Darth Malik for the first time, and he added that new scene with Malik force choking, uh,
Logan.
force choking Logan off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. It was a similar, completely reshot. Thing is that it does. It's great. Like it says, it does stand out a bit from the rest of the footage.
Again,
One
again, the limited by the engine, but something,
of course,
but it's they managed to hold on, words English is hard, but they managed to work it in that to cut out the non essential stuff. Like
aye,
episode two begins with them on Manon already, getting the star maps. You don't have to land and go through all that stuff.
aye,
It's
aye.
we're
By
here,
surprise, you know, good call.
and something I never did my first playthrough was after I finished a mission, I would go back. I would never go back to Dantooine. Once I left for the first time, I was done with the planet. But I like that Revan. Okay, yes, just so I don't keep doing this. Revan is Logan. Oh no, big twist. But every time Revan and the team finished a mission, they went back to Dantooine to report. It's an actual like, here's what's going on. And he questions the council about what happened to Revan, because at this point he doesn't know who.
I do think the narrative of these movies, it does flow a lot better than in the game, or at least if it does it in such a way that just makes it work. So, like I said, it can be a bit choppy at times, but uh,
I can't complain. I
it
am
just
so
flows a
happy
lot
for
better.
this.
One of the things that I did find makes me smile it was finding the little cameo appearances from the second game.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
Ant Ran showed up on Taris? I
And
think it was
in Tatooine, you have that redhead bounty hunter. I don't know her name.
Mila.
Yeah, Mira. Thank you.
So just little things like that that just made me smile. It
Also,
just
and
kind
on the council, it's that one silver-haired Jedi who doesn't like the exile.
of Atris.
Atris, yes.
I,
Also, that Trandoshan was a nice touch.
he was a brand new character, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they doubled the size of the council on Dantooine.
Mm-hmm. Made it feel a bit more like a. See that? That's why I like what he did with Dantooine because in the game, the Jedi Enclave was supposed to be like this, super secret school headquarters, and they make comments about how there are many Jedi there, some of the most powerful of the Order. But when you're actually going around it in the game, you're like, where the fuck are these guys? It was just very, it just felt very empty. But he added in new characters, new animations, a lot of stuff in the background, and it just makes me think like, wow,
Also,
I just wish this was part of the main game. Do you know what I mean? I wish
one
this
thing
was.
one thing that they added on Dantooine that was also kind of cool was the speeder chase. A little
That
a
was a good
little
one too.
a little homage to Return of the Jedi. And the way they edited the dialogue conversations between them. Again, I can't wait for to get to episode 3 because he added. I'm not going to tell you what they are because spoilers for you, but he added a lot of fun scenes that because so in the game supposedly Malik had Bastila for several weeks between her capture and the Battle of Starforge. They added the dialogue and the added scenes make it actually feel like there's been a passage of time.
It's not just the game that does that. I've always found that was a thing with the Star Wars movies in general, that they never really had a. It was never really good at showing the progression of time, and it's one of the reasons why, like, just slightly, I don't know, when a lot of people feel like Luke did his training on Dagobah, it felt like he was only there for like 5 minutes.
Oh no, he was there
For
for he was there for several he was there for a couple of days.
No, no, no. I think he was there for months because one thing in the movie was that keep in mind. One thing I noticed that was a good track of time. The Millennium Falcon didn't have its hyperdrive working, so it had to fly
Okay,
uh,
yeah. Okay,
normally.
that
So
that
a lot of people think of, but again, the explanation is apparently he was on um, Dagobah for months and months. But when you watch the movie, it feels like he was only there for like a couple of days. Same thing in the Knights of the Old Republic in some parts where you said there, but you're supposed to have Bash for like a couple of weeks, but it feels like it's good. Like, Pastor, you always mouth off to me about falling to the dark side. I leave you alone with Mark for 5 minutes, and suddenly you're his apprentice.
The dark side is not simply giving in to anger, temptation, or to use the force to destructive ends.
5 minutes later.
The dark side has made me stronger than I ever was before.
careful, the dark side.
That was actually my genuine response when I found out Bastard turned to the dark side. I was like, are you kidding me? You've been on my ass the entire game, moaning about joining the dark side. Suddenly you get captured, and after 5 minutes, you're now my enemy.
Also, a nice little thing that they did back to the adding of scenes, doing the Jedi training scene. It shows him doing a lot more. Actually making his lightsaber, picking the crystal, combat training between him and Bastila, making a joke that we call foreshadowing. Like, I hope we don't have to do it. Yeah. But
Because I
I'm trying
think,
to keep all my discussions to the first two films for you.
don't worry, I'm sure we'll do another video at some point where we discuss each movie in more detail.
Oh yeah.
The way these movies were structured, I think they end on uh, good good parts as well. So, how did the first? When did
The first one ended on Kashyyyk when
Oh, yeah,
he
like
edited
the
it. He made it so that when Zerker was forced off the planet, all the Wookiees were having like a little party, and he used the soundtrack from the Battle of Endor, the celebration.
hi.
He also if you also listen to the music, you can hear things like Starship Troopers, like you can hear the invade.
All it was that.
Yeah,
All it
Clendathu.
was it was the one time that song was playing. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Star Wars.
Oh no! If you also listen to a few of the other tracks, it's Harry Potter and Star Wars.
I exactly for Harry Potter.
Look at the credits. You'll see a list of movies he used. Because he
But one thing, like, I think some of again, like we're going back to like some of the changes he made, really improved the narrative structure. Like, I, do you know the part in the scene in Talos in the game where it's Admiral Saul Calith?
Oh yeah,
Yes, where he's talking to Marek and Marek's telling him to blow up Talos. In this movie, he's replaced
yeah.
with a complete random admiral. But I don't know why, but I think that works better narratively because it keeps Saul in the background
And
a bit.
Saul's in the first film.
Aye, exactly. Yeah, he is in it. He is in it. But that and a few other changes that he's added, it just improves the overall narrative. Just little things that make sense. Like,
Um, back on the that admiral you're talking about though. Because the movies I sent you were the special editions, because he made them once and then he remade them even better. Yeah, that Admiral. Yeah, if you want to see the original versions, because like the speeder chase, he just used the Jedi Academy speeder footage. He improved it quite a bit. But the Admiral you were talking about
uh-huh.
is in Episode 3. He's the Admiral in charge of the Battle of the
I,
Starforge.
I remember him, yeah.
So yeah, in the game, so they took him and expanded him into the first film, so he would just appear out of the blue. And even yeah,
Ah, it's like I said, the little details. And again, another one was when uh, on the Endar Spire, the part where Trask was supposed to be killed by Darth Bandon.
yeah,
Again, they just replaced Bandon with a generic Dark Jedi, so it made his
appearance.
first introduction, his first appearance, just a little bit more dramatic.
Also, Darth
And again,
Banner's death is
aye, and it just makes a bit more sense.
he also increases the brutality of the fights, because if you look at
Right.
again, these are all spoilers. Darth Bannon's death cuts off his head. He animates the head cut off, and when Callow died, he picks him up and puts a grenade in his mouth. One thing though that they did, I sent you these pictures. I thought was kind of fun, because they have fun with this. I'll put the pictures up, but they edited it so it looks like the cast of the movie or like suits and nice dresses for the movie premiere. They even edited a few photos to make it look like what they were filming out in the desert, like with camera crews in the game footage.
Next thing they just have to do is, you know, release.
Director's commentary. I would love for them to do a director's commentary.
His commentary.
Because I managed to talk to him for a little bit, because the guy's busy. But I actually asked him why did choose the design he chose for Logan. Because in canon, Logan Revan has long hair. He's clean shaven. Well, it's a beard in the clean shaven in the book, beard in Old Republic. But apparently he chose that one because that was the head that he used when he was playing the game years ago. He thought the bald head was cool, and he thought the facial hair was badass.
You know, I'll give him that. I'll give him that because that was the thing about the game. You know, you get to customize whatever. And you get. This was before there was an official canon description of him. So you know, I'll give him that for not using the
Like,
the official animized
his movie, his
version.
rules.
I'm not gonna give him some. I'm not gonna give him that for that.
But again, though, the only thing that bugged me at first, that really did bug me at first, and I've grown, I accept it now, but it was the whole non-moving mouth thing.
Yeah, well, you can't expect everything, can you?
No. Again, I'm happy for what we got. I love these movies. In fact, my name is in the credits.
Oh yeah, that was right. That was right. I
Special
remember.
special thanks, and I'm like the eighth name down. It made me so happy when he sent me the picture, and I'm like, really? I haven't done anything. He goes, you've been supportive. Are you sure? He goes, I can take it out if you want. No, it's good, it's good.
Nice project to have your name attached to.
Yeah, even though I have done nothing with it. I mean, my name's in two of them, one and three.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Takes me a
If you actually go back and watch the original version of episode 3, and I love this, the credits actually have bloopers, and they're done like Pixar bloopers, where it's the characters talking, and it's just like the new characters. Like, we have to, one of the lines, like, we have to stop Basila's battle meditation. Battle meditation. Those are like the two most opposite words. I must stop my peace, my violent yoga.
I don't know. It even makes the effort to add little things like that.
No, I admire Kevin so much. I admire his team and all the work they put into this. I would love for the opportunity just to add anything I can to it. Just so I can say, yes, I was part of this.
I would absolutely love to work on a project with this guy myself. It's just like
Kevin,
the amount of
Kevin, if you're watching this, I have more respect for you than most YouTubers I know, especially this guy. But the amount of, I appreciate these videos so much. Thank you.
and they've been certainly an enjoyment to watch as well. I mean, probably some of the best things I've ever seen on YouTube.
Anyways, we're going to close out the episode now. Thanks for watching. This has been Talk Nerdy TV with Kyle the Iron Knight.
I'm Joe, Double O Joe.